Hello.
Oh, welcome. How are
Yeah, I'm fine. What about you? Thank you for asking.
you? I'm good, thank you. Is this your first class on Cambly?
No, it's a 10th session, I think.
Okay, 10th session. Okay. Just because since it still has like the number username, usually that's how I think that it's the first class. But tell me your name. What is your name?
My name is Prem Sagar. I'm from India. So I'm living in southern part of India. My state name is Karnataka.
Okay, perfect. And you said that you are from the south of India, correct?
Yes, yes, yes. Southern part of India, yes.
Perfect. Okay. So how would you like this lesson to go? Is this just going to be a casual free Do you want to
Yeah, yeah.
do a
Free talk.
lesson? Just free talk? Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
perfect. Okay.
yes.
So tell me a little bit more about yourself. Um, what do you do for work and why are you learning English?
Yeah, I'm a public officer.
Mhm.
Earlier I was a teacher from 2004 to 2010. So I was teacher. I'm a high school teacher, particular that time, and after that. I passed public service examination, and after that,
Mhm.
I appointed as a public officer. Now I am a tribal welfare officer. Uh, every day I do service for the tribe people that we facilitate them like in education sector and so for upliftment of socio economic and all over development. So we I do for the work. I do work for the tribe people.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So why English? Are you learning it for fun, for work? Why are you learning this language?
Yeah, so I am very good at my mother tongue. So what happened these days, and even when I'm going to reading the books, the most of the main original books are in English. So that books when I read the in my mother tongue in Kannada, when I read the books, that the most of the books translated from English to Kannada. So I think that most of the knowledge means huge knowledge is in English.
Mhm.
So that's why I want to read the English books, and I can understand the books, but I want to public speaker. Yes, I'm
Okay.
very good. Yeah, I'm very good speaker in my mother tongue, but I want to. I want to be a good speaker in English also. That's why I am learning English and watching books and watching video Cambly's watching Cambly app also every day.
Okay.
So since last 2 years, I'm regularly watching all Cambly conversation video clips on
Okay.
YouTube,
Mhm.
and I think that video is good. Means Cambly app is good platform to learn English. That's why since last 15 days, I am uh, taking class on Cambly.
Last 15 days. Okay. So fairly new. Okay, okay. And
Yes.
how have the last 15 days have been? Have you done classes every single day? Or do you do classes maybe once a week, twice a week? How is that?
Weekly thrice means
Okay.
weekly 3 days. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, 3 days. And have you talked to a tutor every single class or have you stuck with the tutor? How is that?
No, 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 no. I haven't struck any tutor. So almost different tutors. I'm
Okay.
taking class
Okay.
from different tutors. Yes.
Okay. And do you like it or are you looking for a specific tutor?
Yeah, I like it. I like
Okay.
it. Yes.
Yeah, especially I think it's good for you because of how do you say if you want to be like or with your public speaking and in English, I think it's good to speak to different people so that you can kind of like grow that confidence in English, right? Have
Yes.
you
Yes.
only spoken to tutors from the United States or have you spoken to anybody from like the UK,
Yeah.
Australia?
Yes, 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 yes. Most of the people from US, Canada, and UK, and
Okay.
even from South Africa also. Yeah.
Okay. 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 So when you do these public speakings, what are some topics that you are talking about? What are some topics that you are doing or presenting to these people?
Yes, most of the tutors ask about me, like my what is the working means in which field I am working. So
Hmm.
I explained my working style and what is my job and when I was appointed. So
Hmm.
each and every tutors I explained them and what happened in yesterday? Yesterday, I have taken class that we means with the tutor. I had good conversation because in India, how marriages are happen in India, like
Uh-huh.
wedding
Uh-huh.
means rituals, and so in India, the wedding happens for almost 5 days. So this is
Hmm. Hmm.
more rituals and the 5 days marriage ceremony. So it's quite different from other part of the world. So it's very interesting subject. It was very interesting subject when I had that conversation. So and
Hmm.
even their culture also, westernization culture, and how the eastern and western part of the culture now become like very near, because most of the people even now also adopting westernized culture, western
Hmm.
culture.
Hmm.
So it was very fun and it was very interesting conversation, yesterday's conversation. Yeah,
Yeah, it's sorry, I'm gonna mute myself.
no problem. Go ahead.
It's just because right now it's like the time to eat. So I live in Mexico, and the main thing that people eat with like all their food is like tortillas. So sometimes people are a little bit, they don't want to go down to like to buy tortillas or anything. So there'll be somebody in a motorcycle selling tortillas, and they can get a little annoying. But
So you are living very means busy in busy city,
yes,
near
yes,
you are in, yeah, central city. I think you are in central city. And what is the
yeah.
time now there?
It is like 12:23 p.m. So like noonish, like the afternoon. Mhm.
Yeah, it's midnight here.
Oh,
Means
okay.
12,
12 hours.
12.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I will let's talk about that then. Let's get into kind of like our cultures. I've always gotten kind of like especially talking to students. I've talked to a student from like for example, China, where they feel that a lot of like for example, they told me that the Mexican culture and the Mexican like foods and stuff like that is very close to Indian foods. Now, same thing as in Mexico. In Mexico, we well mainly actually no, not kind of like that. Because I know that in India, for example, there's a lot of different languages spoken. It's not just Hindi; it's a lot of different languages, and
Yes,
sometimes
yes.
they can be very similar, but sometimes they're very different.
Okay.
And kind of like that in Mexico. Well, I would say like 80% of Mexicans speak Spanish, and about a 20%, which is our more indigenous Mexicans, they speak different languages. So there's, well, I don't know them. There's, I think there's like Nahuatl, there's a lot of them. And those are not the same as Spanish at all. Like there's no difference, there's no similarities, a lot of differences, etc. But the thing that I find very interesting is, for example, I think like for two countries being very far apart, like the foods are pretty similar. But like for example, a something that I've told the student was that I love Indian cuisine. I try my best to cook Indian cuisine, but with a lot of Indian food, it's more spices. So it's like spices, and it's a lot of them. It's not just like, you know, three or five. It can be like 10, like sometimes 20. It's a lot of different spices, and it's more concentrated on that. Where in Mexican food, we don't really add spices. It's more like vegetables and how to prepare the vegetable. So, for example, with like dishes, we either boil the vegetable and then we fry it, or we toast the vegetable and then we fry it, or we do a bunch of different steps and then we do something else. But it's like to enhance that. But I think it's very cool to see how like how two countries that are very very far apart have so much similarities, even in like how do you say, in physical similarities. Where I've been told if I'm like either from like the Middle East or from Asia, because there's I have very similar aspects physically in my face to for example from people from that part of like the world. And I've always gotten that. I've always gotten if I'm from like the Middle East or if I'm Indian, and I'm not. I am half Mexican, and I am half how do you say, white American. So that's it's always very like interesting to see that, and how a lot of people say that I'm very similar or have different similar features to it. Same with like for example my boyfriend. My boyfriend I would say looks a lot like Turkish. Like, I have a lot of Turkish students here. And he looks a lot like them, but he's not nothing Turkish. He is just like he's just full Mexican. So it's very interesting to see like the different cultures, but how we're still very similar. I don't know if you have any opinions or what do you say, statements on that.
Yeah, definitely. Here that in nowadays, that's means 10 15 years ago that the world is means the every each and other corner of the world there is a different culture, the different language and different food. Everything is different. But now the world is become very small. Means it's
Mm-hmm.
we know everything because you are in Mexico and I am in India. Through communication, we meet each other. We conversation nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we exchange our ideas, we exchange our our culture, everything. Now we can exchange. So because of
Mm-hmm.
communication, because of globalization, privatization, and urbanization,
Mm-hmm.
so,
Mm-hmm.
now we become very near. We are
Mm-hmm.
far. We are living for more distance, but
Right, right.
because of communication, we are very near. Yeah. So even you are in the you are in your place that you are in the noon and even I am here. So it's time almost it's a midnight. So even in this time also we can connect. Yes, we are connecting. So it's very very good. And India is a very huge country, and nowadays because of globalization and because of privatization that we are going everywhere. Like most means Indian restaurant they are established all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
Mm-hmm.
Indian spices are very famous because of spices. The Western people they came India in the they discover India. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
when
Mm-hmm.
when Columbus he went to discover the India. Instead of India, he discovered that Bahamas, Bahama lands and America.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
and after that, because of the spices, he want to discover the India. He wanted to discover the India. And again, Vasco da Gama from Portugal. Vasco da Gama, 1498. He came to in the year 1498. He came to India and discovered the India through the sea channel. Sea channel, yes. So, because of spices, when you already spoken about the spices, definitely our spices are very strong in every dish or cuisine that include very means spices. It's very strong. And in other part of the world also, we have a lot of restaurants all over the world, like UK, US, any other country. And most of the means Indians are very talented and very hard worker. They are now staying in US, Canada, especially Canada and Australia, and even UK. In UK, huge populations are from
Yes.
these South Asian countries, from India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, China. Yes, these countries people are staying there since long time, since long time. Even in US also, most of the techies means software engineers and doctors, and even in Canada also they are saying they are settled there. Indians are settled there, and even in business also, restaurants and other business also they are established there, and they settled there very well. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
and
I
we
agree.
have and similar to language here. In North India, Hindi is very common. Hindi is very common. If you come to southern part of India, here lot of languages are means that most of the South Indian states each and every state they have it has their own language
Hmm,
because in South India, I have a Kannada. My mother tongue is Kannada, and my neighbor states are Telangana. They speak Telugu, and Tamil Nadu is there. They speak Tamil, and West Bengal is there. They are speaking Bengali, and even in northern part of India, there is Punjab state is there. They are speaking Punjabi. Most of the Indian, like all 30 states, they have their own languages, almost their own language. If there is a Hindi in southern, northern part of India. In even Hindi are also the way of speaking and style and the tone is different from state to state.
hmm, hmm, hmm.
Yeah, even in Karnataka, means our state, we speaking Kannada throughout the state. But when we go to 20 25 kilometer from this place to that place, then their tone and their slang is different from here. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So and culture also very different culture here. So in our if you take my state, then southern part of Karnataka means southern Karnataka and northern Karnataka, their culture and the speaking of way and their lifestyle, everything is different. Yeah. So even these type of differences are there, but even we are unique now. Some means culture because of urbanization we know everything. These days we have your food and you have our food also. So sometimes we visit the western means we almost in India AFC, KFC,
Oh
Domino,
yeah.
all over the world because means, we know everything. It's famous. They are famous all over the world.
Hmm,
So
hmm,
even it Mexico or is it US or is it Canada or India? Everywhere there is because of globalization, because of privatization, and business is growing up everywhere. So yeah, we are testing all foods and all culture, whatever you have culture. So we are adopting. It's good.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, especially with how you say the communication. It's so crazy. Like, especially like a lot of my family here, they will ask me because they're really interested. Who did you speak to today? As in, like, where are they from? And I'll say, oh, from South Korea, from China, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, and they're just like, what? Like a lot of family here have never even spoken to another person from the United States. So when they hear people from like South Korea or from Brazil or from a bunch, like it's just like wow, like and how do you communicate? And it's like, well, that's my job, is that I have
Mhm.
to kind of help them with the communication because right now English is very global, where it's just taken over. It's like a lot of countries speak English, and not just English, just a lot of different languages too. Like I know the popular ones are like English, French, Spanish, and I believe Chinese, where those are like very popular languages. So yeah, it's very interesting, like to have this conversation, even like you said, where we're from very different parts of the world, but we're still communicating. But yeah, no, thank you for sharing with me the what is it called, the languages and the cultures, and I agree with you. Like there's if you go to Chicago, there is a street that it's dedicated to a lot of like Indian food, a lot of Indian restaurants, a lot of Indian how do you say, traditional clothing. They have wedding
Yeah.
dresses, and it's so colorful. Recently, um I'm not sure. I think it was like the one they have. There's like this very popular restaurant in Chicago that is an Indian restaurant, and they got the I believe they're called like the little carts, the little motorbikes, like the
Okay.
taxis. Uh huh. So they
Okay.
transported them to Chicago, and now they're there. So it's like a lot of people like they're very colorful. Here, let me show you. Let me show you. I think they're called. Let me see what they're called. Um, but they are all over like that street. The street is called Devon in Chicago, and I'm telling you, you can find anything there. And it's not just Indian food; it's a lot of different cultures, especially like Middle Eastern, so like people from Pakistan, people from Saudi Arabia, things like that. This one. So they've gotten these ones.
Yeah, these are autos, auto rickshaws.
Mm-hmm. So they brought, I believe, five of them on different parts of the streets, and they colored them very so beautifully with a lot of different colors, and it's like
Oh,
it brings a lot more like kind of like vibrantness to the street. So yeah, that's also very fun. So tell me, what do you like? What's the thing that you like most about India? What tell me about it. Like what makes you like think of like India and say, "Wow, like I love my country." What is that
yeah,
thing for you?
yeah, it's definitely India's rich culture.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes, rich culture, and India is the most populous country, and we have a lot of religions are here because
Mhm.
here is Buddhism and Hinduism and Sikh and Jain and
Mhm.
Christian, Muslims. These are main religions, and apart from
Mhm.
all these religions, there are number of castes and subcastes and sub
Mhm.
religions. Like these are all people we are living here unitedly, means with unity, and we have different cultures. Like in religion we have temples, we have churches, we have mosques, so
Mhm.
we have
Mhm.
everything, but we are living very unitedly, and brotherhood is very important. And it's a Buddhist country. Like originally it's a Buddhist country, but now it's little bit population is there in India for Buddhist, because very Hinduism very is dominant. But we
Mhm.
are
Mhm.
saying like all brothers, we are all brothers, and we have a different culture and language and food. Everything is different, even in food also. Suppose we are going here from every 25 kilometer or 50 kilometer, we found the food and culture and language, dressing, everything is different. It's a very colorful. India is a very colorful, and festivals are very we celebrated very big way,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
like Diwali, crackers, yeah, Diwali, Holi, colorful
Uh-huh.
Holi.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Holi, Holi is very famous here, and Diwali crackers that very famous, and even Christmas in Christians like they celebrated very well festival here, and Muslims celebrated very in big way that their festival, and all those festivals, and we greet each other, and we are living like brothers here. And India is
Mhm.
a very huge country, and we have hilly area in Himalaya, northern part of India, very in the top, like crown. India's crown is like Himalaya, Himalaya like that. It's a crown, and when we come down, there is a Thar desert.
Mhm. Mhm.
Thar
Mhm.
desert is there, and big rivers are flow from what Himalaya. Yes, from Himalaya they flown to eastern part of India and western part of India. Yeah, and very fertile land is there under the Himalaya. And after that, we suppose we come to southern part of India. There is a again there is a hilly, like when we go down in Indian map, like southern part of India, it's right side the Bengal Sea is there, and western part of India, that side it's a Arabian Sea is there, and southern part of India we have like Hindu Sea is there, and beaches means tourist places. Goa is very beautiful place for tourists. We have a lot of beaches and a lot of forts and Taj Mahal. You know Taj Mahal. It's a very wonderful. If you have in future, if you visit to India, then definitely you see the Taj Mahal. Yeah,
Mhm, mhm,
yes.
mhm,
It's a it's a symbol of love. It's a symbol of
mhm,
love. Yes,
mhm,
Shah
mhm.
Jahan, king, when his wife was died, uh, when she was delivered of 14th baby, that time she was died. Because of her memory, he built that Taj Mahal. So it's very famous now,
I didn't know that.
and it's
Uh-huh.
yeah, definitely its color will changing. Morning time, it's a the stone, white stone, built up with
Mhm,
white
mhm.
stone. The color is changing. How the weather is weather is changing. Morning weather is different, and noon weather is different, and evening and night weather, and when full moon is there, the weather is different, and it's reflect the weather is reflect on the stone. The color, the stone color become, it will frequently changing the color.
Right, right, right. Mhm. Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome. See, I didn't know that. I knew about the Taj Mahal, but I didn't know about the story behind it. Oh, that's beautiful. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Mhm,
It's
mhm.
very good, and it's a symbol of love. So
Uh-huh.
whoever came to India, who that from US, from UK, the couple, they sit in front of Taj Mahal and they click the photo.
Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. Yeah,
Right?
no,
Yeah,
usually when people travel down there, that's one of the things that they go see most is the Taj Mahal because of how
yes,
huge it's massive. They
and
usually like you'll see videos of like people like in their hotel and then the
yes.
Taj Mahal is like right in front of it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm, hmm.
And even there is in Rajasthan, there are a lot of forts in Jaipur and other places. There are number of forts are there. It's a big forts, and they are now conversing in like hotels, big hotels, star hotels, like 7 star, like the hotels, and Western people come. They came here. They are coming here to celebrate their weddings or wedding anniversaries in that hotels, because it's a once upon a time they were a big
Hmm.
palaces for kings. So now they are converted into that function halls. So they are giving weddings, they are giving weddings and other functions. Yeah, India is a very huge country, and it's a very nice country. Yeah, I am proud of it, proud of
Yeah.
our country.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's great. Yeah, yeah. No, everything that you talk about when you talk about India, you can hear that you're very proud of it. That you have so much love for your country. That's great. That's
Yes,
great.
definitely.
But would you travel to, or have you traveled to other countries?
Yeah, definitely. I want to travel to Thailand because Buddhism is there. I want to travel to Thailand and South Korea and Philippines, China, Japan, and apart from these countries, I want to visit UK, US, and Canada. Yeah.
Places. Okay, okay.
Yes. Yes.
Is it expensive to travel from India? For example, from Mexico, it's really expensive to travel. Is it
Yes.
expensive to
Yes.
travel to other countries? Hmm.
From India. Yeah, definitely. It's expensive. Yeah, it's expensive.
Especially now, I believe that after the pandemic, people have said that it's gotten more expensive. Like, for example, to travel from Mexico City to Chicago, it's only 4 hours. It used to be
Yeah.
like 120, 150 max. Now it's like
Oh.
250. So it's gone up a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So we are running out of time. So we have
Mhm,
only 20 seconds, and you say about my English conversation and how you feel and how
mhm,
was my grammar. Yeah.
mhm, mhm. I think that you spoke very well. we had a good conversation. I think it flowed very well. I liked how you gave examples and you explained why. But we do have 5 seconds left. It was so great to meet you. Thank you so much for the conversation.